Yeah, when I first heard the announcement, I was a little shocked, just like a lot of people, because any big change is going to create that type of response. And as I was thinking about it more and more, I was like, okay, these guys have probably some of the smartest marketers slash data collection people around, right? I'm gonna assume that. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's true, but I'm
There are
assuming
two
that.
folks who work at Udemy who have a course on SQL. So
Oh,
yeah, and
there
didn't
you
know
go.
SQL beforehand. They learned it here. So yeah, a lot of smart data folks here.
And so I figured, okay, they've been doing this. There's a couple things I was thinking. First of all, they've been doing a lot of analysis. They did all the pricing tests last summer. They also are kind of at the forefront, Udemy is, of online learning. There's very few companies that are at your guys' level in terms of having access to that much data, that many students, that kind of thing. So I went with, we have to think of this as business people, not think of it as an emotional thing for our business, but more as a business decision. Is it going to generate enough additional sales to give us a higher revenue as instructors? Obviously, your mileage may vary. It depends on the instructor, the topic, all that kind of thing. But generally speaking, do you expect that this is going to increase revenue across the board? In again, generally speaking, and if so, by what amount or what percentage do you think students reacted to those pricing tests? Do you have any kind of like? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm wondering by what kind of percentage growth was that pricing test where you capped it at $50 and offered discounts?
Yeah. So it's a great question. I don't have this is the percentage increase in spend that we're expecting from students. These tests, like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of caveats around this test. It's very hard to get them to statistical significance. So more the way we took these tests was directionally, these were telling us that this type of pricing was going to be better for students and actually result in more purchases for students. I think we, and we're sharing this in some of the communities and on many of the phone conversations we're having with folks, we've recognized that many of the existing students on Udemy have been trained into the discounting that we're doing. So we are expecting this is going to take a little bit of an adjustment here. And we're also anticipating that average selling price is going to increase a bit. It's around $15 today, and we're expecting it's going to go up a bit. And so we think that's also going to be a bit of an adjustment for students. So I'm actually expecting that earnings are going to be a little bit slow or a little bit flat for a few months. What we feel strongly about is that this is the right move for the long term, and that this is actually going to end up resulting in more purchases from students and in just a marketplace that they can actually trust. And the other piece that has me hopeful about that as well is just the speed Udemy is growing at. So, I probably a bunch of folks saw the Time article and we had announced that there are now 10 million students that have earned on Udemy. And just a year ago, it was about 5 million students, right?
Yeah.
And so it's growing really quickly. And what that ends up meaning is that in any given month, a very large amount of the purchases from students are coming from, they're coming from students who have just joined Udemy in the past few months. So, when we've been thinking about this change and how it's going to impact earnings in the marketplace, we've sort of realized that it should be the case that just a few months from now, the bulk of purchases in the marketplace are actually coming from students who never knew about the old thing, who haven't been trained into the $10 deal crack, if I can put it as such. So that has us hopeful about about how earnings are going to go over the course of this year. But I do think it's important to just be real that it is going to be an adjustment for us, for instructors, for students. So that's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, unbeknownst, I didn't know about this change. at all, but I was thinking of doing some tests and dropping some of my prices just to see if courses would sell at the lower list price. And I got some full price sales based on that. I got some at 24, 27 in that range. So it kind of supports this theory that the sweet spot is between 20 and 50 bucks, that people will not just rely on coupons. If they see it at 25, 30, 35, 40, they'll just impulse buy it and go ahead and just start learning, because the need to get the course will outweigh the need to look for a coupon, or if they, like you said, if they even know that about the coupon system that existed before. So
and I was doing the same thing, and I know a lot of people
I saw your video, Phil. I was really excited to see that, and I'm excited to hear that too, Dave. I was curious to just hear more how that went and what that testing was like.
Yeah, I mean, for me, so for people who don't know, I have been testing some lower prices just to see what is the threshold for trying to get organic, non-discounted sales. And a while ago, I had discounted my prices a little bit, or just dropped the prices, probably around like 40, 50 bucks, and from like 200, 300, and I wasn't getting many sales. And typically my prices my courses are priced between $49 and $297, $299. But recently I was doing some tests just with some of my courses at $20 and $25. And in February and the first week of March so far, the first couple of days of March before this announcement was made yesterday, I was getting some totally organic, non-discounted sales, a good number of them. And it was just, I wasn't doing anything different other than I wasn't promoting these courses. I don't know exactly how people found them, if it was just from searching on Udemy and seeing the price that it was. But it was just nice knowing that I was getting sales even without promotion going on, because we all know like it's like a wave where when there's a promotion, I get a lot of sales, and when there's not, I mean, sometimes when there wasn't promotions going on, I wouldn't get any sales unless I was doing a promotion or something myself. And so the thing about February was I saw a lot of other instructors complaining about how it wasn't doing so good, but obviously because January was really a really strong month across the board, I think. But for me, it was a pretty decent month with the fact that I was getting some organic, non-discounted sales at that like $25 price range. And that leads me to a question. I know we have like so many questions from listeners that we'll maybe have to do like a speed round after we get through all of our questions. But I think there's probably a lot of instructors wondering what is the best process for them to go through now, now that this is changing from now until April 4th when it changes, and then afterwards. And I'll just say my theory right now is that I've already discounted I've already changed the price of most of my courses to the lower price, just so that it's not a big shock to the market or my market on Udemy when these prices change. And I'm guessing that's going to help. And I'm also thinking that I'm just going to have to put my course prices at the lower end for now, like 20 bucks or 25 bucks, so that, because you're talking about how like the average sales price, course sale is like $15. I'm trying to get as close as that to possible on an organic, non-discounted basis. And so in the long run, I hope to increase that price as students get more used to these prices. But I see other instructors saying, oh, I'm just going to put all my courses at $50. And that's one strategy too. But do you have what's your advice for instructors? I know you don't know the right answer, but do you have any thoughts about what instructors should do between now and April 4th and then afterwards?
Yeah, great questions. I think you're right. This is going to be a whole new world. We don't know. I think we're hoping to get a lot smarter about how we can give better price recommendations to instructors. And we actually need a bit of a better data set than what we've had previously, because we've had all this really strange discounting going on, which is sort of preventing us from actually giving better recommendations there. I do think that, for most folks in the marketplace, your average selling price is around $15 today. And I do think most folks should be a little bit careful about jumping it up too quickly. One of the folks on the team was sharing this story, and he was like, if I'm a customer, I walk into the store, I'm used to seeing something that I buy for $15 and I like that price, I'm used to it. And then overnight it's 40 or it's 50. I'm a little pissed, and I'm like, what happened here? And so I think there's some truth to that. And so, I don't know that that's going to be the best guidance for every course. Each course is really unique, and, and courses pack in different amounts of value in different ways. But I think that's something that will be very real, that students will feel, and that and that instructors should try and be pretty conscious of. So I think, some of the things you're doing, starting with something like a $25 price point or a $20 price point, seeing how that's going, maybe testing some others and trying to get a feel for, how is the demand and earnings coming in when you move it up a little bit. I think that makes a lot of sense. I have some mixed feelings on should you do anything with your pricing right now. Probably what we're sharing with most instructors is you should go ahead and set your new prices for April 4th, but actually don't change your prices currently. I think the results y'all are seeing are super interesting and get me really excited, because you're getting these organic sales even when a lot of other courses in the marketplace are signaling to students that they're better courses because they're up at $200 and $300 price points. So that gets me pretty excited. I will say our marketing isn't changing until April 4th. So, there are still going to be some of these site-wide fixed price deals, at price points like $19 and sort of thing. So that's just something to be a little bit conscious of as you're thinking about, should I just go ahead and move my price? Maybe sort of the upside of it is you just start getting more of those organic purchases sooner and start understanding what's the right price point for your course sooner. The downside of it is just making sure it gels with some of the marketing that Udemy's doing. And so there's some sort of balance there. So yeah, is that helpful in terms of a few thoughts on prices? I know generally we need to, this is something we want to invest a lot more in is giving better recommendations on pricing. It's not going to happen overnight because we need to be able to actually look at clean data in this new pricing world where the discounts are just the percentage off discounts, not those fixed price discounts that really throw things off. And we've been talking with a bunch of our data science folks about how we do this. So it's going to take us a little bit of time, but it is something important and that we know we need to do better on.